Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Have you ever opened your phone and suddenly couldn't remember what you wanted to search? Or maybe lately, conversations feel harder to follow. Names disappear. Words feel stuck. Your mind feels slower than it used to. And deep down, there's a quiet fear many people over 50 never say out loud. What if this keeps getting worse? Most people think brain fog is just part of aging. But what if it's not? What if your brain isn't broken, just overwhelmed? And what if some of the biggest causes of brain fog after 50 have nothing to do with age itself? Here's the surprising part. Many people begin noticing clearer thinking, better focus, and more mental energy in just a few days. Not from expensive supplements, not from medications, but from changing a few daily habits that silently drain the brain. In today's video, we'll go through a simple 7-day reset that may help clear brain fog naturally. No pills, no complicated routines, no extreme diets. Just practical changes backed by how the brain actually works after 50. And by the end of this video, you may realize your brain has been asking for help in ways you never noticed before. Welcome to Vitality Path 50+. If you enjoy calm, practical health guidance designed specifically for adults over 50, subscribe and join our growing community. And if you've been struggling with forgetfulness, mental fatigue, or difficulty focusing lately, leave a comment below and say, "I'm resetting my brain." You are not alone, and your brain may be far more capable of recovery than you think. Let's begin. Part 1. Why brain fog happens after 50. Brain fog is not a medical diagnosis. It's a signal that the brain is not operating efficiently. For some people, it feels like mental exhaustion. For others, it feels like memory problems. For many adults over 50, it feels like they're constantly distracted, unmotivated, or mentally slow. And unfortunately, many people blame themselves. They think, maybe I'm getting lazy. Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe this is permanent. But often, brain fog is connected to lifestyle patterns that gradually affect blood flow, sleep quality, stress hormones, inflammation, and mental overload. And here's something important. The brain after 50 becomes more sensitive to poor recovery. Small problems that were easy to ignore in your 30s and 40s can suddenly create noticeable mental fatigue. Things like too much screen time, poor sleep, chronic stress, sitting too long, dehydration, constant news and information overload, blood sugar spikes, loneliness and emotional exhaustion. All of these can affect how clearly your brain functions. The good news: the brain is adaptive, even later in life. Research continues, showing that the brain can build new neural connections well into older adulthood, but it needs the right environment. That's why this 7-day reset focuses on removing common brain stressors first. Because sometimes the brain doesn't need more stimulation. Sometimes it needs less interference. Day 1. Reset your morning light. The first change may sound too simple, but it's one of the most powerful. Get morning sunlight. Within the first hour after waking up, step outside for at least 10 to 15 minutes, even if the sky is cloudy. Why? Because light helps regulate your circadian rhythm. That internal clock affects sleep quality, hormones, mental clarity, mood, energy levels. Many adults over 50 spend most mornings indoors under artificial lighting. The brain never receives a strong signal that the day has started. As a result, the body can feel sluggish all day. Morning sunlight helps regulate melatonin and cortisol naturally. This improves alertness during the day and sleep quality at night. And better sleep is one of the fastest ways to reduce brain fog. You don't need to stare at the sun. Just walk outside, sit on a porch, water your plants, take a slow morning walk. Many people report feeling mentally lighter after only a few mornings of proper light exposure. Simple, free, often overlooked. Day 2. Remove the mental noise. Most brains today are overstimulated, especially after years of constant television, social media, breaking news alerts, notifications, and endless scrolling. The brain was never designed to process this much information continuously, and after 50, recovery from mental overload becomes slower. That's why Day 2 is about reducing noise. For one day, try this. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Avoid watching negative news for several hours. Stop multitasking. Reduce background television. Take short periods of silence during the day. At first, silence may feel uncomfortable, but many people don't realize how mentally exhausted they are until the noise stops. Mental clutter creates fatigue. The brain uses energy constantly filtering information, even when you think you're relaxing. This is especially true when watching emotionally stressful content for hours. Fear-based media keeps stress hormones elevated, and chronic stress affects memory, focus, and concentration. Your brain needs moments of quiet, not because you're weak, but because your nervous system needs recovery. Think of your brain like a computer. If too many tabs stay open all day, performance slows down. Sometimes brain fog is simply cognitive overload, and reducing noise gives the brain room to breathe again. Day 3. Walk after meals. This habit alone can change how your brain feels surprisingly quickly. After meals, especially large meals, blood sugar levels rise. When blood sugar spikes too high and crashes later, many people experience sleepiness, mental fatigue, irritability, difficulty concentrating, brain fog, and this becomes more common with age. That's why a short walk after eating can be incredibly helpful. You don't need intense exercise. Just 10 to 15 minutes of light walking after meals, even inside your home, even slowly. Walking helps the body use glucose more efficiently. It also improves circulation and increases oxygen delivery to the brain. Many people notice they feel more awake and mentally stable throughout the day. And there's another benefit. Movement stimulates the brain. A sedentary lifestyle reduces circulation over time. The brain depends heavily on healthy blood flow. You don't need marathon workouts. You need consistent movement. Some of the sharpest older adults in the world are not intense athletes. They simply move regularly every day. The human brain loves motion, especially walking. Day 4. Improve sleep without medication. Many adults with brain fog are actually sleep deprived, even if they spend enough hours in bed. Poor quality sleep affects memory, focus, mood, emotional regulation, learning, decision-making, and one bad night can affect mental clarity the next day. But here's something important. As people age, sleep often becomes lighter and more fragmented. That means protecting sleep becomes even more important after 50. So for Day 4, focus on improving sleep naturally. Try these simple adjustments. Dim lights 1 to 2 hours before bed. Stop scrolling on your phone late at night. Keep the bedroom cool and quiet. Avoid heavy meals close to bedtime. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule. Reduce caffeine later in the day. And perhaps most importantly, give your brain a chance to slow down before sleep. Many people go directly from stress and stimulation into bed. The nervous system never fully relaxes. Try reading something calming. Try gentle stretching. Try quiet music. Try prayer or meditation. The goal is not perfection. The goal is helping the brain feel safe enough to rest deeply, because during sleep, the brain performs important cleanup processes. Some researchers even describe sleep as a nightly cleansing system for the brain. Without quality sleep, mental fog builds over time. Day 5. Stop dehydrating your brain. Here's something many people never consider. Even mild dehydration can affect concentration and mental performance. And adults over 50 are more vulnerable to dehydration. Why? Because the sense of thirst often becomes weaker with age. Some people go through entire days barely drinking water, then wonder why they feel tired, dizzy, or mentally cloudy. The brain depends heavily on proper hydration. When hydration drops, the brain has to work harder. This doesn't mean forcing gallons of water. But day 5 is about becoming intentional. Start your morning with water. Drink consistently throughout the day. Increase fluids during hot weather. And pay attention to hidden dehydration sources. Too much alcohol, too much caffeine, salty processed foods. These can worsen dehydration and contribute to fatigue. Some people notice improved energy and clearer thinking within just a few days of proper hydration. Again, simple doesn't mean ineffective. The body often responds powerfully to basic needs being restored. Day 6. Feed your brain better. You don't need a complicated diet to support brain health. But the modern processed food lifestyle can quietly increase inflammation and energy crashes. Many highly processed foods digest rapidly. This can create unstable blood sugar patterns, and unstable energy often creates unstable thinking. Brain fog, sleepiness, difficulty focusing, mood swings. For day 6, try simplifying your meals. Focus more on vegetables, eggs, fish, nuts, beans, berries, oats, whole foods, and reduce foods that leave you feeling heavy or exhausted afterward. Pay attention to how your brain feels after eating, because food affects the brain more than many people realize. And here's another important point. Some adults over 50 undereat protein. Protein contains amino acids that help support neurotransmitters involved in focus, motivation, and mood. You don't need perfection. You need awareness. Many people have normalized feeling tired after every meal. But constantly crashing after eating is not something you should ignore. Your brain is constantly responding to what you feed it. Day 7. Reconnect your brain to life. This final step may be the most emotional, because sometimes brain fog is not only physical. Sometimes it's emotional exhaustion, loneliness, stress, grief, lack of purpose, mental burnout. These things affect the brain deeply. Many adults over 50 quietly carry emotional weight for years, caring for family, financial pressure, loss, retirement changes, health fears. The brain and nervous system absorb all of it. That's why day 7 is about reconnecting. Reconnect with movement. Reconnect with people. Reconnect with purpose. Reconnect with life. Call someone you care about. Spend time outside. Laugh more. Listen to music. Start a hobby again. Volunteer, read, pray, journal. The brain thrives on engagement. One of the strongest predictors of healthy aging is not just diet or exercise. It's meaningful connection. Humans are not designed for chronic isolation, and many people notice their mental sharpness improves when emotional heaviness begins lifting. Your brain needs stimulation, but healthy stimulation, not constant stress. There's a big difference. Now this is important. This 7-day reset is not magic, and it's not a cure for serious medical conditions. If brain fog is severe, sudden worsening, or accompanied by concerning symptoms, it's important to speak with a healthcare professional. But many people are surprised by what happens when they support the brain consistently for even 1 week. They notice better focus, more stable energy, improved mood, less mental heaviness, better sleep, clearer thinking, less afternoon exhaustion, and perhaps most importantly, hope, because they realize their brain still responds. Too many people assume decline is automatic. But the brain often reflects how the body and nervous system are being treated, and small daily habits matter more than most people think. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You do not need to follow extreme routines. You simply need to stop working against your brain every day. That's where real change often begins. If you've been struggling with brain fog lately, don't immediately assume the worst. Your brain may be exhausted, overstimulated, underslept, underhydrated, emotionally overloaded, and sometimes the path back to clarity begins with the basics: light, movement, sleep, hydration, calm, connection. Simple habits repeated consistently. Because healthy aging is not only about adding years to life, it's about protecting the quality of your mind while living those years. And remember this: mental clarity after 50 is not impossible. Your brain is still listening, still adapting, still capable of change, one small habit at a time. Thank you for spending time with us today on Vitality Path 50+. If this video helped you, subscribe for more calm and practical guidance for healthy aging. And tell us in the comments, which of these 7 days do you think your brain needs the most right now? We read every comment. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Before we conclude, a quick reminder. The information shared in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this channel. Your health is your most valuable asset. Treat it with the professional care it deserves.